Richard Dawkins professed to be a cultural Christian and said that Christianity is a decent religion, but another massive religion is not. Okay, this is a very controversial topic. I wanted to share it with you guys. So, fair warning, it seems like Richard Dawkins has said this before in terms of like, I'm a cultural Christian, I like the Judeo-Christian values. And it seems like he's said stuff about Islam before that hasn't been flattering. But I got a great take from my buddy Zubi on this.
Well, I must say I was slightly horrified to hear that Ramadan is being promoted instead. We are culturally a Christian country. I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer, but there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. And so,
a cultural Christian. He's not a believer, but he's a cultural Christian. Now, he's been saying this for a long time, which to me seems rather odd that you want to borrow from the religion you are hypercritical of. That to me doesn't seem to make any sense. Because if Christianity is responsible for the worldview that you prefer or the ethical system you prefer, the morality you prefer, it seems a bit disingenuous to want the fruits of it without wanting the truth of it. But that's not the best part of this clip.
You know, I love hymns and Christmas carols, and
everyone likes Christmas music. Come on, Richard. Of course you love hymns and Christmas music.
I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. I feel that we are a Christian country in that sense.
No. He said Christian country. He's talking about Britain, right? This is he's not even talking about America. He's talking about Britain. So if he feels like Britain is a quote unquote Christian country, could you imagine how much more Christian America is? I mean, especially you go down south. And I'm not saying it is Christian. I'm saying how more it quote unquote feels like based on his standard of this sort of stuff.
It's true that statistically the number of people who actually believe in Christianity is going down.
Right.
And I'm happy with.
Thanks to guys like you, thanks to guys like the New Atheist movement. Yeah, you guys are responsible for trying to make the world as secular as possible. And now you want your cake and you want to eat it too. Seems a bit inconsistent, but again, that's not even the best part. What got him in trouble is not this.
But I would not be happy if, for example, we lost all our cathedrals and our beautiful parish churches. So I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it wouldn't matter.
He wouldn't be happy, but that's exactly what's happening, especially over there, right?
If we substituted any alternative religion, that would be truly dreadful.
Well, which brings me to my supplementary point, which is that, as we know, church attendance is plummeting, but the erection of mosques across Europe, I think 6,000 are under construction, and there are many.
Oops. It's what happens when you when you are hell-bent on trying to secularize the West. Guess what rises up as you open up the borders and welcome in more and more immigrants? You get 6,000 mosques and churches shutting down. Thanks a lot, New Atheists.
More, are being planned. So do you regard that as a problem? Do you think that matters?
Yes, I do, really.
And this is what is getting him, he's getting dragged from everybody right now. From the conservative Christian folks like myself, you got folks saying, wait a minute, you're kind of at fault for this nonsense. And then the folks on the left are crying, phobia! Listen.
I might choose my words carefully. If I had to choose between Christianity and Islam, I choose Christianity every single time.
Whoops.
It seems to me to be a fundamentally decent religion.
Christianity seems to be a fundamentally decent religion. Quote, Richard Dawkins, 2024. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
In a way that I think Islam is not.
Whoops. So this is what's getting him canceled. You have Crystal completely blowing a head gasket on Breaking Points. You have the left completely losing their mind because Richard Dawkins said what many of us already know.
I think you're going to have to explain why you say that, Professor Dawkins. Why is Islam fundamentally not decent like Christianity?
Yes, the way women are treated. Christianity is not great about that. It's had its problems with female vicars and female bishops.
Okay, because women can't be bishops in the Eastern Orthodox Church or in the Catholic Church, or can't be pastors in most evangelical Protestant circles, that is nowhere near a comparison to how women are treated in Islam. This is the falsest moral equivalency I've ever heard in my life. Him even trying to make that comparison.
Darkness. And things. But there's an active hostility to women, which is promoted, I think, by the holy books of Islam. I'm not talking.
Oops. I'm just going to let Richard cook. Let's just let him cook, shall we?
About individual Muslims, who of course are quite different, but the doctrines of Islam, the Hadith and the Quran, fundamentally hostile to women, hostile.
Who's a brave man right here, especially in light of what's happening with October 7th. This is a brave man right here, and I mean, he's kind of cooking. He's kind of cooking. Now, I will say that my Muslim friends are sweet people, beautiful people. I have Palestinian friends. I have Muslim friends. I have friends. The people in my life that are from this worldview don't always reflect the actual tenets of the worldview, right? Like there's a disconnect that's happening here. So I would agree with him. Okay. And then of course he brings up the LGTB, okay, which is, huge contrast.
Hostile to women, hostile to, and I find that I like to live in a culturally Christian country, although I do not believe a single word of the Christian faith.
So what happens is when you want to live in a culturally Christian country, but you don't believe a single word of the Christian faith, that is where you no longer have a culturally Christian country. That is exactly the issue. And it's disappointing that he doesn't connect the dots. Okay, now, my man Zuby had a great take on this. He said, many Westerners want the benefits of Christianity without the Christian part. Many Westerners want the benefits of Christianity without the Christianity part. A lot of people want to go to heaven. They just don't want God to be there when they get there. It doesn't work long term. There is no vacuum. Even the world's smartest atheists seem to be working that out. So shout out to Zuby. Shout out to Richard Dawkins for being brave. I mean, listen, I think he's confused as all get out. And I think this is extremely incoherent, what he's talking about. It makes very little sense. I want the cultural Christianity. I want the fruits of Christianity, but I don't want to submit to the truth of Christianity. Well, of course. I mean, listen, anybody would want the fruits of something and not want to submit to the truth and the root of something, for sure. I'm sure a lot of you guys would want to walk around with abs and muscles, but like, do you want to eat in a way that gets you the abs? Do you want to sleep in a way that gets you the abs and muscles? Do you want to lift in a way that gets you the abs and muscles? Do you want to move? No. So, but that doesn't make you noble. That makes you inconsistent. Right? That makes you inconsistent and incongruent. And that's what he's doing here, unfortunately. Right? You want the results of something, but not like the truth of it. Because the truth of it tells you, repent and believe. You got to change. Repent and believe. Place your faith in Jesus. Lay down your life. Okay? So, shout out to Zuby. Very interesting conversation here, man. And I'm here for it. We see, according to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when he answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used from my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.